We are recording. Welcome, everybody. Can everybody see the screen? Give me a nod if you can see the screen. Yeah, cool. You can see the PowerPoint presentation. Excellent. So thank you so much for joining me this evening. Firstly, what a month. Huge. So exciting, really, to see the amount of growth that the team is experiencing. It's awesome. So firstly, what we're going to be covering this evening, as usual, monthly wrap. I'll zip through that. And then I have the lovely Tanja, who's going to be talking a little bit about Neroli. I'm going to talk about some of the exciting stuff that I'm sure you can't all wait to hear about: business, tax, company structure, and also nail it down to specific rank requirements. And then we have a personal growth topic, and I have Jodie who's going to be talking about how to handle no's and a couple of other personal growth tips that she has. As per usual, up and coming events and incentives, and a couple of parting words as well. So firstly, this has been the biggest month in terms of enrollments in our team. There's been over 450 enrollments just in April. So absolutely incredible. Look out, world, here we come. And there's been 7 people who have ranked to elite, and you can see that list of amazing people there. So congratulations, guys, and thank you. You've done a fantastic job in the month of April. And a special shout out to Simone Lambert, who did a double rank advance this month. So she's gone from executive to elite and then to premier in the 1 month. So an outstanding effort, and congratulations to Simone. So without further ado, I'd love to invite our friend Tanja, who's on Vicky Drennan's team in Canberra, to talk a little about Neroli. Are you with us, Tanja?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes. Welcome.
Thank
Please
you.
take it away.
First and foremost, congratulations to Simone. That's an awesome achievement. So Neroli. Neroli was something I never heard about until the convention this year. And I'll go with where I got from where I was coming from to begin with. So during that convention, I was going through a relationship breakdown. It was a little bit difficult, as they are. And we were listening to the presenters talk about this amazing convention pack, which included the Neroli touch. And they were saying that it was really good for relationship breakdowns. And so straight away, I started to lather myself up in it, and putting it around my neck, over my heart, up my meridian line, basically everywhere I had a pulse, everywhere I had skin showing. I didn't care. I was putting it everywhere. I didn't realize it would actually help as much as it did. And so what it started doing was supporting me and my emotions. I was beginning to feel calmer. I was beginning to feel clearer. And I wasn't caring as much as what I ordinarily would about a relationship breakdown. So that was one aspect of how Neroli helped me. But in terms of the way they can physically assist your body, it's a fantastic use for lowering inflammation and pain. My dad's got really bad chronic back problems and pain, and so I've actually just shipped one up to him because this stuff biologically the active constituents reduced acute and chronic inflammation. So that's exactly what he needs at the moment. I also apply it to my lower back as well. And that actually helps a lot with my lower back issues too. It also reduces like the stress you feel. I've often gone and used it when I was at work just to kind of calm down. If I didn't have balance there, which is what I normally would go to, it would be definitely used pretty soon thereafter. So it also improves symptoms of menopause. Now, I'm not going through that, but the research that I have done into this does it kind of lowers the blood pressure within females, so they're not getting all those the hot flushes that women get as well, and also it kind of levels out your hormones a little bit more. So I guess not as grouchy as what you can be. And so my mum, after also researching this with me, has kind of snapped up a bottle. What else does it do? It reduces, repairs your skin. So in terms of, if you've got any kind of acne or any kind of blemishes, pop some onto those sites, and it will start to rejuvenate your skin, but it also acts from not a surface point, but a cellular point. So it starts to work from inside out, and obviously is more permanent that way. It's also an anti-seizure and anti-convulsant agent. So I dare say putting it on behind your head or down your ears will actually start to assist, which is the research that I've looked into. And ladies, and sorry about this, gents, PMS. I've struggled many years in relation to really, really bad cramps, to a point where I would be in hospital from it. So that's thanks to ovarian cysts. But again, the Neroli and obviously the Calm together, it act as an antispasmodic and assist with pain relief fairly instantly, to be honest. So yeah, and it apparently eases labour too. I haven't been through that, but I'm sure to tell my sister when she goes into labour in August to pop some of that on. Hopefully that supports her labour as well. The emotional part of it is obviously what I started off with, and that's really what's helped me. But it also promotes intimacy. And if women are feeling a little bit, in terms of their libido, if a little bit down their libido, this actually boosts it up a little bit. It's what they say, unifying and stabilizing oil, and it's good for calming hearts when dealing with relationship conflict, which is clearly what I just mentioned. So in terms of what it actually promotes would be a positive sexual intimacy. I've gotten a lot of this out of the so when it comes to the emotional part of it, it's going to promote the positive evolution of the sexual intimacy between individuals that have been together for a long time and have experienced contrast in those relationships. So it starts to kind of balance out where you're both kind of coming from, and aids in achieving greater intimacy and connection between the two of you. So I'm not sure whether I've taken up 5 minutes or how long, but I think that's kind of it. Does anyone else have any questions in relation to it? Like, this is genuinely my... Questions? Nope. All right, awesome. Well, thank you for listening to me.
I'm not sure if that was a question or if that was someone in need of Neroli.
I think everyone could be in need of Neroli. This is seriously some pretty cool stuff.
It is awesome. Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those little dark horses, I think. It kind of, I don't know about you guys, but I kind of feel like got a little bit drowned out by all the excitement of copaiba and jasmine as well, with those new release oils. So there's so many fantastic new release oils that we sort of just forgot about Neroli, and it's just amazing. I love how calming it is. So thank you so much, Tanja. That was awesome.
No worries. Thank you. I'm sorry, I do have to jet to a briefing for work, so I will have to talk to you guys another day. Have a great night, everyone.
So much, cheers.
Bye.
See ya. So I'm not sure if everybody can still see the PowerPoint presentation. I think you should be able to now. So thank you so much, Tanja, for going through that stuff. It was all very valuable information. And I'd like to, this is the exciting part. I'm joking. Part of the business meeting where we get to talk about tax. Who here loves tax? Yes, it's so good. It's so fun. But seriously, it can actually, it works in our favor. So don't fear tax and the tax man, because we can really work it in our favor and really get a lot out of it when we run our business with the intention for it to be a business. It can really work in our favor. So I urge you, when you have that intention to want to share long term and make a subsidized come out of this, or an income or a place or your income, that you actually start writing down expenses to begin with. So I shared this image that you guys can see on the screen at the moment, and you may have seen it before, but you may be familiar with the like the emotions or the belief patterns that are required through these different stages as you move through the ranks in doTERRA. So down the bottom there, we've got elite. Obviously, the average income there is between $300 to $800, and what I focus on, or encourage people to focus on, is earning their oils for free at this stage. So it's a very viable option to actually not have a direct deposit form that you've submitted to doTERRA, but just use your AR balance to pay for the rewards program, and just allow that that money. So I'm just going to put somebody on mute who's on this bit noisy in the background there. Sorry about that. Okay, last person on mute. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. So use the AR balance, allow it to build up, that's fine. It's not actually claiming an income at this stage if it's just held in your AR balance. And it could be an evolution for you as well, in that you have the intention just to share casually, earn your products for free. But then one thing leads to the other, and you find yourself getting a bit of an income, and then you're moving into perhaps the Premier phase. You're ranking advancing to Premier, and the average income there for Premiers is $600, and I've seen some Premiers get $1,200 or above, but $600 to $1,000 per month this is. And this is where doTERRA sees, and this is actually being mandated by the ATO, and the ATO has said to doTERRA that if someone is earning $10,000 or more in doTERRA, then it's actually deemed that it's more than a hobby. And I know, the official hobby wage is $18,200 per annum. This is just information that doTERRA relays on to us, that has been relayed to them from the ATO. So I have no real control over it, but it's really simple to, and I highly recommend getting an ABN, registering your business, and with the the ABR, abr.gov.au, and that process that you follow through abr.gov.au, you create an ABN and you also register a business name. Now, when you're first starting out, and I'll go into this a little bit more detail in the steps, I would just open it as a sole trader unless you already have a business, and then you could register that business. Perhaps you already have a practice, and you can write off your doTERRA oils, the cost of your product, your tools, your travel expenses, going to convention and training. These are all business expenses. Renee and I ran our business at a loss for the first 3 years. And this is really normal for businesses to run at a loss for this period of time. Some businesses run for a period of 5 years. Some businesses run at a loss forever. And I'll cover a little bit more of that too. So at Premier, make sure you have an ABN with the ATO and you've registered your business with doTERRA. Now, to do that, you need to fill out an application form, a wellness advocate agreement form, and you just amending the details once you have your ABN with the ATO, and you're putting them in your application form. And sorry, I'm just making sure everyone's on mute, looking over to the screen there, making sure that doTERRA knows your ABN. And is everybody asking me questions here? Yes. Has anyone had the doTERRA working part-time and receiving Centrelink altogether? I have no idea how to declare doTERRA earnings to Centrelink when it starts getting to that point. So when you do your tax return, Maddie, and this will just be an annual thing to begin with, you're claiming your income when you actually go to do your tax. So doTERRA will be an income, but remember there's costs involved as well. So you'll be running at a loss, and that's pretty normal when you're first starting out, especially for the first 1-2 years. maybe 3 or even 5. So that is offset against your Centrelink payments. So if your business is running at a loss, then it's not going to affect your Centrelink payments at all. It's when you actually start to profit and make an income, less the loss, then that's when it's going to start to affect your Centrelink income. And by that stage, you're looking to be at around about the gold and the platinum level, realistically. So yeah, you don't want to end up with a bill, that's for sure. And as long as you keep track of all your expenses, and perhaps when you're starting out, you're just keeping your income in your AR balance and using that to pay for your oils. Your money is never hitting your bank account. And this is why using your AR and earning your oils for free, and AR stands for accounts receivable, it never actually hits your bank account. So, we don't need to report this income when it's in your AR balance. If you have the intention to really be serious and take this further than sharing, then I would recommend getting an ABN from the start, registering it with doTERRA, start claiming your expenses and everything from the beginning. That's if you have the intention to take it beyond sharing, take it beyond just getting your oils for free, yeah? So you can do that step that I recommended from Premier at the first step if you have that intention to grow beyond just earning your oils for free. So silver, average income there, 1,200 to $2,000. You definitely need to have that business addendum form along with the wellness advocate agreement that's been updated with the ABN, sent to dataentry@doterra.com. These 2 forms need to be filled out and sent to dataentry@doterra.com. By this stage, you should definitely be tracking all of your expenses. You might want to use a tool like Excel or something like that. I'm not going to go into too much detail at this screen because I go into more detail at all the other screens. And then gold and platinum, $4,000 to $9,000 per month. You want to start looking at your business structure, especially if you've started out as a sole trader. You want to work it in your best favor. So there's a couple of options when you're at gold and platinum level, moving into diamond, where you can look at either doing a family trust or perhaps a company. And I'll go into that into more detail, maybe even a partnership. We did a partnership from the start because we could evenly balance the income between the 2 of us, Renee and I, because we were a partnership. And depending on whose wage is higher or lower, you can put money in the other person, in the partner's name, so you're not paying as much tax. That's a really simple form of taking advantage of the business structure when you're first starting out. You want to look at something like a family trust or a company when you're earning around about $80,000 to $100,000 per year. That's when it becomes viable to start looking at that company or family trust structure. At diamond, you've got a company in a trust or a trust in place, and I'll go into why, or you choose one or the other. And then at blue diamond, all that applies is being put in place, presidential diamond, of course, and then you're teaching people about this. So yeah, this is cool to teach because I've gone through all of this, and I actually don't mind all of the accountancy and budgeting and money stuff. So it's pretty exciting for me, exciting as can be. So in a little bit more detail, elite. So focus on earning your oils for free. Use your AR balance to pay for your oils. Just recapping on some of these things. Most of your income will come from your enrollments. So this is from the fast start bonus. You're not going to really be getting much uni level, maybe 50 power of 3. You can register an ABN if intending to build the business long term. So if you intend to go beyond elite, and I'm sure most of you do, I would just get an ABN from the start. Find an accountant, start tracking your expenses, report your losses, report your gains, and that is the best way to do it, honestly. Start claiming those running costs from day one. So Premier and Silver. This is where doTERRA has actually reported that the ATO wants your ABN up against your doTERRA account. If doTERRA don't actually have an ABN registered against your account and you're getting to that 10K threshold, it used to be silver. They mandated that silver because they deemed that, you know, silvers, they get paid above the hobby wage. But now they're actually mandating it for $10,000 per annum or more. So you look at the average wage for a premier between $600 to $1,000. So a mature premier will be getting more than $10,000 per year. So you need to have that ABN in place at premier. Send those forms in. You should definitely be keeping track of your expenses. Keep a paper trail of your receipts, and looking at getting an accountant. So what I did from the get-go is I kept track of all my expenses through my bank account. Everybody has online banking these days, and what you can actually do is export all of your bank transactions. And I recommend having a dedicated doTERRA account that you use for all of your income, all of your expenses, and then you can export that to Excel and then go, right, here's my my telephone costs, here's my tools costs, like my books, etc. Here's my oil costs, here's my travel and training costs, and then reporting that to your accountant on an annual basis at this stage. It will change, it'll need to be quarterly. And I've just got a question here, so let me just have a quick look. Okay, Vanessa's just asking, did you minimize some of your expenses in the first 3 years so as to not have such a huge loss carried over each year? No. So we basically claimed whatever we could. So just about every overseas trip that we did when we have started doTERRA has involved some sort of a claim in claiming travel expenses for going to convention in the US, or traveling up and down the coast, the Gold Coast, etc., for leadership and various things like that. So because we were, quite, I'm not going to say aggressive, but we were definitely sure about building, and we were earning enough to run just at a loss, not at a huge loss, but we're still running at a loss that would carry over each year. All of our product expenses would be, were claimed. A portion of the mortgage on our house was claimed because that's office, stationery, printing, office supplies, laptops, technology, things like that. This is why we need to be wise with the way that we utilize tax and we do our expenses, because we can get a lot out of it. Sorry, there's just one more question here. Claim everything, Emily Petherbridge. Yes. So the one thing to be aware of is you can run your business at a loss, like forever. Obviously, we don't want to do that. We want to be making more money than what we lose. Yeah. Although when you have a home business, you can make it, you can run it at a loss, but still not be living in the streets. It's all how you work the tax system, whilst also being completely legal as well. I'm not saying participate in any illegal claimings and things like that. You can just be wise about how you do it. So to run your business, and what the ATO doesn't like is if you are running at a loss where you have a part-time job or another full-time job, and you run your business at a loss and it grosses less than $20,000 per year. So that's when they will go, hey, you can't do this. That will come to their attention if you do that for a long period of time. They don't like that. So it's $20,000 when it's profiting less than that, also grossing less than that, and you're running at a loss and you've got another job or another form of income, it will come to the ATO's attention, and they will go, okay, well, what's the intention of this business? Are you just doing it for your own personal gain? Because that's how it'll appear to them. So moving right along to our next rank. So are you guys still with me here? It's all making sense. Nobody's fallen asleep yet. Oh. It's all this, necessary business stuff that we need, right? So it's important to be on top of this. So Lisa versus iPad has raised your hand. I've never seen that before. Hello, Lisa. Awesome. Glad you're enjoying it, Vanessa, and thank you for the inspiration for inciting this this discussion. I'm glad it's useful. So, gold and platinum. So, you're earning the equivalent of a full-time wage at this rank, and you want to get the most out of your business structure. So these are just some of the things that I've written down as some notes here. Awesome, thank you, Lisa. So sole trader, so up to 80K to 100K at absolute max for a sole trader. You're not getting the most out of your business model if you're still a sole trader and you're a diamond. You'll notice you'll look in your back office and you'll go to team, you'll go to upline listing, and you'll see all of the upline listings are usually trusts. They're mostly trusts or companies. Just be aware of this. Don't be a sole trader forever, and you're free to change your business structure at any point. Whatever you choose, it doesn't matter if you stay on that for 6 months, a year, or forever. Well, actually it does forever, not sole trader, probably not partnership forever, but you can change at any point. It's just a matter of registering a new business or a new company or a new trust and informing doTERRA. So you're not stuck with whatever choice you make. Make a choice what's best for you, consult your accountant because it's unique for everybody's situation, and then use that structure for the amount of time that it suits you, but you're free to change. Partnership. So this is what we did from the very beginning, because it was Renee and I that were doing the business from the very beginning, and we had slightly different wages. So we were able to distribute that wage amongst the two of us, so it worked more favorably for tax. So that may be a better thing for you to do, especially I think if your partner is helping you in whichever shape or form in your business. It will also just provide them inclusion in what you're doing. So that could be powerful in itself. So company, and this is the structure that Renee and I have chosen to go down at this stage. And like I said, this is free to change. So the company, so it's good for individual liability. So basically I'm protected by operating as a company from me and my assets, personal assets, and Renee, obviously. And our company's profits are also taxed at a lower rate than what they are as an individual. So if my company, our company profits, then we get a far less tax rate, 30% on whatever profit it is, as long as it stays as a company income. As soon as it leaves a company income and becomes my wage, then I get charged a normal tax rate on that. Just be mindful of that. And then there's the family trust. So this is good if you can distribute your income to family, in particular that are over the age of 18 years. You do pay a higher tax rate for distribution of funds to family members that are under the age of 18. And this is part of the reason why we chose to go down the company path rather than the family trust. You still also get the individual liability protection. So it's very similar to a company in that sense. And another thing which I felt that we didn't really need, sorry, I'm just reading Emily, I'm a company and I have no idea why. So good to know there's benefits. Okay, awesome. Cool. So and one of the key differences as well with a family trust in a company is your discount that you get from capital gains. So capital gains is when you're selling assets. So I don't think this is really something to really consider in the doTERRA business, because we don't really have any assets. We don't have any machinery, or very few overheads in terms of office equipment and things like that. That's one of the beauties of the business. So this isn't really something that I really bring to the table to compare, and I don't think it has a heavy enough weight to sway me between family trust and company. But it is a good thing to know. You do get a discount on capital gains when you are selling off assets when you have a family trust. So that would be the family trust's assets, not your own. Definitely want to be looking into accounting tools, especially when you're moving from that platinum to the diamond rank. And I personally use Xero, and it's purely just personal preference. I had a bit of a look at QuickBooks online. I purely chose Xero because it had a lot more ability to have plugins for various other platforms, and just seemed a little bit more dynamic and a bit more cutting edge in terms of the technology. The pricing is very similar. The platform it actually looks very similar as well. I've seen QuickBooks, and I reckon I could just use QuickBooks straight away after using Xero. I mostly use it on my phone when I'm collecting receipts. I purely just get my receipt. Could be for petrol, could be for anything, and I just go boom, take a picture, and then I just track that expense on my phone, and it's updated on my laptop when I do my reconciliation, which is just end of month or end of quarter. I do it, and I provide that end of quarter statement to my accountant. She goes through, and then on a quarterly basis, she just says to me, okay, these are your earnings. This is how much tax you need to pay, and this is how much super you need to pay. So I contribute super and pay for my tax quarterly. So hopefully that's not too much for you guys. You're still with me. You're taking it in. Cool. Tina says, how clever. Must be on the right track. All right, cool. So nearly up to some more exciting stuff. We've got Jodie, who's going to be joining us on the next slide and talking a bit about personal growth. But just to run through this last one for Diamond and Above, you're running your own business as a company. So this is where you're at, or a trust. And another business application addendum, that form I was telling you about, which is in our Google Drive under forms. The business application addendum, it's sent off with your modified or your updated wellness advocate agreement, and you should be using an accounting tool. It doesn't need to be cloud-based. That's pretty out there, pretty up to date, pretty dynamic. You could just stick with an Excel spreadsheet. There's people that do this. I say keep it easy. Focus and spend more time on the things that are actually going to be producing you income. Getting out there and inviting people to come along to your workshops, doing your workshops, teaching people about how to earn their oils for free, how to do the business and share, and how to address their health concerns first and foremost. So less time doing all this boring accounting stuff, more time doing the stuff that matters. Make it easy for yourself. I recommend having an accountant and or a bookkeeper. You don't need to have a bookkeeper, especially if you use an accounting tool like Xero or QuickBooks. You essentially become your own bookkeeper, and it can be kept really simple in the sense that you're just keeping track of your expenses, and once it's all set up, it just flows really easy. I'm finding it very simple once I've set it all up. You're making super contributions, so remember, we want to be mindful of the future. We want to be contributing super, and we want to be mindful of when we get to that ripe old age to be enjoying the fruits of our labor as we build up our business. You want to be paying your tax quarterly through pay as you go and doing BAS statements. So I don't feel that this is something you need to do. pay for an accountant to do this. It's only going to be a matter of, a couple of $100, and that's nothing in the grand scheme of things. You can just labor away for hours doing something that you're not good at, or pay someone just to do it, and they do it in a couple of hours, and it's a taxable expense, right? And that pretty much sums up that slide. I pay $60 a month for Xero as well, and that just gives me access to all of the services. It's a monthly subscription, and there are different levels of service. I just chose to pretty much go the whole hog. You can add employees as well, so when you get to the stage where you might have a virtual PA or things like that, it's pretty much, it can do a lot of things. Xero, there's a lot of things that I'm not even utilizing yet. It is for $60, it's worth your peace of mind. If you have a bookkeeper in comparison to Xero, I guarantee you're going to be paying more for a bookkeeper on a monthly basis than what you would for Xero, which is quite easy to use. So if you, sorry, I've just lost a train of thought there. So the next segment for our presentation or business meeting this evening is the lovely Jodie Crowley, who's going to be talking about dealing with no. And I just wanted to take this opportunity before Jodie shares her wisdom with us to just express how important personal growth is. And this is why I've brought it in as a monthly thing that we look at in this business meeting. If you're not growing, then your business is going to get stuck. You're going to get stuck. Your business is going to get stuck. And it's just so important to be engaging in some form of personal growth in this adventure. So without further delay, I'd love to invite Jodie, my little sis, to the stage, and you can unmute yourself there, Jods, and do us proud.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Well, I was called upon at the last minute this afternoon to step in for Vicky, who is going to be doing this segment. So I've got a few notes that I've wrote down this afternoon. But I guess I just had a bit of a reflection on my journey with doTERRA over, I can't remember if it's 3 or 4 years now that I've been doing it for. And I think back to the very beginning when I was doing markets a lot. And I think I was talking with my mind instead of my heart, and not having enough personal experience with the oils as well at the time. Kind of, I don't know, you didn't really see the passion, or reflecting back now, I didn't feel like I had the passion back then like I do now. And I always used to hear people say, oh, Renee and Byron are so passionate about the oils, like, it's their journey, their pathway, but I'd never kind of felt like that at the very beginning. And it was something that came with time. And the more experience that I got with the oils, the more I trusted them, the more I believed that they did work. And now I'm 100%, these are so amazing. And so firstly, I think when you're just starting out in the business, to get your own personal experience is really, really important. So then you 100% believe in the product that you're selling. You're not just coming across as a salesperson that, I don't know, can't talk from experience or answer questions because you don't know yourself. I remember at markets as well, I used to get angry or irritated towards people that were closed-minded. So people that did say no, people that kind of walked past, or, I was thinking, why aren't people interested? These are, the most amazing things. And no matter what I would say, people would still be like, oh, maybe, or they wouldn't write down their contact details. And then if I was also challenged at a market, so if someone, came back with a negative comment, or, compared doTERRA to another company like Young Living, I felt like I'd put up this big defensive mode and would have to be like, no, doTERRA is the best and this is why, and I'm going to tell you why, and, you know, I want you to stand here so I can tell you why. So yeah, I guess dealing with people saying no is, I feel okay with that now. I feel comfortable to be like, all right, well, that's a loss for them and not so much for myself. You know, you still try, but sometimes people just aren't ready at that particular moment. They might not be in a particular mindset themselves to be open to natural solutions. There could be many reasons why people say no, and that's okay. And I'm so happy or okay with that now than I was before. What else? So, I guess, yeah, the notes that I have down here is, so using the more oils and getting experience. So this is how I guess developed over the years. So increasing my passion for the oils and belief in the oils. One thing I noticed too is sharing samples. So, you know, not just trying to get somebody to join just off the bat if they don't know anything about doTERRA. I've learnt to be generous as well, I guess, rather than saying, you know, believe me, they work, spend, you know, hundreds of dollars on a kit without first saying, you know, try some oil, or I'll send you some samples in the post. You can send samples for $2. They can go as a large letter, so it doesn't cost you that much. Increasing confidence as well. So by doing the actions, so doing a workshop, I guess. I feel really confused. I didn't set my notes out very well. Also asking for help. So seeking mentoring off your upline or the people around you, and attending business meetings like you are now. So that'll make you feel more comfortable, I guess, in the business sense, and getting you to learn more. So then you are, I guess, and just go off and do workshops and feel comfortable. I do get reminded as well by Byron, but positive affirmations. So having a vision board, having the people on your vision board that you want to attract, whether that be customers or sharers or builders. So I have, you know, qualities that I want to attract in people. So, you know, I want my sharers or builders to be independent. I want them to be positive. You want people that are going to be easy to work with, etc., etc. I find that it's good to stick these affirmations on your mirror of a morning. So when you're brushing your teeth, you know, you're seeing them daily, you can read them daily, or a place that you go every day. Maybe it's where you put your oils on, or where you take your multivitamins, things like that. I also found diffusing essential oils. So it's funny that, I don't know if anyone else gets it, but when you're in kind of a bit of strife, or you're feeling a bit negative, or you're feeling a bit down, you forget to use your oils. And it's funny that you're always telling other people, oh, you know, they might say to you they're sick, and so you're like, oh, you should use this oil and this oil, and you're always giving out advice. But then sometimes you're like, oh, actually, I am feeling a bit drained. I'm going to put, you know, an oil in the diffuser to pick me up. So I've got to keep reminding myself as well to do it for me. So oils like Motivate and Elevation, Balance and Cheer, they're all really good ones that I like to use that are motivating, positive oils, especially if you are, you know, feeling a bit down in the dumps, because I guess it's like any business, you have your ups and downs. And doTERRA is one of those. I've never had so many downs, but I've never had so many amazing ups, and it's so worth the excitement that you feel when you have those wins, when you have those days that are like, yes, like everyone's interested, and, you know, there's people everywhere, and you've got all these wellness consults to arrange and workshops to do. So that's a really good feeling. When people do say no, and that's okay, they're mainly, and I think Renee and Byron taught me this, is they're not saying no forever. They're saying no at this very moment. So keeping track, especially if you have their contact details, keeping track of them, of your leads, and following up, because as Byron and Renee have said before many times, the fortune is in the follow-up, and that's so, so true. I've had people come back to me, 6 months, a year later. A lady who did the first spoil promo the other day texted me out of the blue and was like, all my friends are having doTERRA parties and I'm ready. I want to join with the Home Essentials kit and also an extra On Guard and Digesten. And I was like, what? It was so like, you just keep being the positive, nice person you are and people come back to you. Yeah, so that was really nice. I liked that. And the other thing as well, people can see, no matter what you say, people can see through you. They can see your personality. So they can tell if you're being a salesperson. They can tell if you're genuinely interested in them. That's another thing, is showing genuine interest in other people's lives. So not just, being pushy and sending them text messages all the time about making a sale. If you know something about them, say, how is your kids going, or, did you get that job that you were going for? Show genuine interest in the person and their life. And, you create the most beautiful relationships in doTERRA. And I feel like I have so many friends now just in the doTERRA community. Yeah. And then personal growth in terms of audiobooks. So I mainly listen to the audiobooks in the car because I used to drive to work 30 minutes there and 30 minutes back. But also another good way to do that is going on a walk. So often if, you're walking the dog, I'm now pushing a pram and walking the dog. So putting your earphones in and listening to those audiobooks. My favourite, so I've got 3 favourites, and you've probably heard them before, is one of them's GoPro, The Slight Edge, and also Edge Success, which is the ones that are in the 30-day mentoring that Renee and Byron developed. And Edge Success is just so funny. It's such a laugh. Oh, that's good, Emily. You look forward to your commute now, so that's good. Makes it interesting. And the last thing was I got to a point where I felt like my network's avenues had been exhausted. And then I had a bit of a light bulb moment that it's not, everybody that it's okay. You might know one person. So say, for example, a girl that I knew from high school, I randomly got back in contact with her and connected with her. And she ended up holding a workshop for me. And I didn't know anyone at her workshop except for her mum and her sister. And then from that workshop, I got the contacts of all of those people and I asked if they would like to host a workshop. So, and then one person from that hosted a workshop and I did the same thing at their workshop. So I think I've had, out of that one high school friend, I think it followed on 4 workshops after that. So that was a bit of a light bulb moment that's how you network. You meet people and then you ask those people that aren't necessarily your friends to begin with, but you get to know them. So, and just thinking back, one of those ladies is actually going to hold a second workshop for me in May or June this year. So, and I met her 2 years ago. So I've just reached out again. So it's okay to even reach out to people in your tree a second time or a third time just to, see how they're going or see if they do want to share the oils, because back then they might not have known a lot about them, but now they know more and they hear people talking about them more, and just to let them know that you're there to help them. So that kind of is all of the notes that I had. Went on a bit of a tangent from the dealing with no, but mine is so important. It's so important in the doTERRA business, and you have to be positive. Otherwise, people will see it. People can see through, the smiles, no matter how hard you try. So, yeah, that's all.
Awesome, Jods. Thank you. Well, very wise words there. So proud of my little sis. Great tips.
Thank you.
And yeah, I guess, you know, it's pretty cool to see, you know, not only Renee and I like growing so much, but our whole team as well. And yeah, don't be scared of the growth. It's usually when we're stuck is when we need a little bit of growing to do. So if you're feeling stuck at any stage, just look within. You've got to look within. You've got to come back to you and just reassess and go, okay, well, how can I be more effective? How can I bring more to me and to the people I come into contact with? So thank you so much, Jodie, while I find my way around on this screen. Okay, so to end off our meeting this evening, not going to keep you guys for much longer. We are doing a Spoil Yourself promo in May. So it's got some thumbs up there from Emily. And so Jodie's actually going to be coordinating this because Renee and I are going to be away. We're going to be up the coast doing a Tough Mudder event with some Bro Terror dudes. And I'm taking the family with me. So doing a bit of a publicity event for men in doTERRA, which is really cool. But you're in good hands with Jodie, and we'll also be online and you know, be able to help out where possible as well. But Jodie's got the reins on this one. You've got the link down the bottom there, which is Groups Spoil Yourself May. I will put out this the flyer so you guys can start getting out those samples as soon as possible. And it's pretty much the same as what we've run at our past Spoil promos. So, you know, the more people that are involved, the more people that are interacting, engaging, answering questions, sharing experiences, the more effective the Spoil promo is going to be for everyone. So, you know, thank you so much for everybody that's contributing, inviting people, and just really getting people engaged. It makes all the difference. So I'm just checking. There was a little bit of a chat here. Cool. Yes. Jodie, awesome job. So our events and promotions in May. Obviously, we've got the In Bloom. Who's got their free oils? Woohoo! Who's got lemon myrtle? Yes, awesome. I've seen you, Nicole, you little superstar, doing a fair few enrollments there. And who has got the Jasmine? Jasmine is after 7 enrollments. Sorry, that's after 4 enrollments. So if you've got 4 enrollments this month, then you have got the Jasmine and the lemon myrtle. And then if you have 7 enrollments, then you've got lemon myrtle and rose. And then if you've got 11 enrollments already, then you've got all 3. So congratulations to those who have got your 11 enrollments. There are some of you out there, and we have a very exciting intro workshop happening this Thursday. Same as always, really, but they're always different. You're free to come along, invite people. If you may not have the space to hold an intro workshop, this is a great opportunity for you to come along and invite your friends. I'm more than happy to have you along. Obviously, you're the enroller if you bring people along. So I'm not going to take your enrollments, but please do come along, bring your people. The Pure Oils Academy. So this is something that I've been working on. It's slowed down a little bit in getting it launched because it's been a little bit more challenging with me with Renee with her fractured wrist. But she's getting more independent as we speak, and I hope to have that launched as a trial on May 8th. So this will mean that you can get people that you've already enrolled that may not be on LRP, you may not have done a wellness consult with them, just to give them some of the information to get the most out of the oils, make sure they're using them safely, show them how to get the most out of their wholesale account, and just a bit of information about the 10 top oils, a bit of lifelong vitality, loyalty rewards program. That is in a nutshell. It's going to be very similar to the way that Spoil is run, with the daily challenge, videos shared, and some information along the way, just to get people engaged and educated about the oils and the opportunity that they're presented with doTERRA. We've also got Spoil Yourself, and then the leadership. There's some Spoil Your Mum products that are also going to be available. Can we add people to that trial run? Yes, you can. I haven't actually got that group created yet. So as soon as I do, I'll let you guys know in the in both our Share Build group and then also the Pure Oils Academy contributors group as well. And I'll just add more people as more people are inviting people and contributing, commenting, etc. So watch that space. Obviously, we have the leadership retreat that's also coming up, and this is for silver and above, but it's also a really good incentive encouragement for you guys to push to silver, to come along to leadership retreat and to get some fantastic information, inspiration from some of the leaders. I'm actually going to be presenting on a panel with some other doTERRA bros and talking about how to get your partner involved in doTERRA. So I'm really looking forward to that. And if you want to find out what the product of the month, I think Emily told me that Spikenard is 10% off this month. I'm not sure what the product of the month is, but remember to just check the doTERRA Australia Facebook page. That is probably the most up-to-date and up-to-speed place to get your monthly promotions. Yeah, so it's not up yet, but it will be up soon. It'll definitely be up tomorrow. So as part of the leadership retreat, we are offering a incentive. So very similar to the way we did convention, where anyone who rank advances to silver for the very first time, so this is anybody in our team, that's all of you, between the 1st of May and June 30th, will have their full ticket paid. So you just have to rank advance. It can be from consultant to silver, or can be from executive or elite to silver, premier to silver, wherever. You hit silver in between May 1st and June 30th, and we'll pay for your ticket. Anyone who has ranked as silver before and ranks as silver or above between those 2 dates as well will pay for half of your ticket. So you need to purchase your own ticket, which is available through, just go to the doTERRA AU website, Facebook page, and you'll be able to find the link for, I think it's tickets, aunz.doterra.com or something like that. Anyway, you'll find where you can get the tickets on the doTERRA Facebook page. But yeah, it's a great incentive for those people that are pushing for silver to just get that extra incentive, and also to help you guys out financially too, because I know, in those early ranks around premier and silver, it can be a little bit of a financial strain to get along to some of these events. And we'll probably also get a house as well that we can all chip in for and have a bit of fun while we're up on the Gold Coast as well. So in parting, and I thank you so much for joining me this evening and for showing up. It's so important that you guys are showing up, and I really appreciate your time. I wanted to share this image that was shared with us at the Diamond Day convention this year. And it's about storytelling and how important it is in business these days in comparison to just telling people facts and figures and science and all that sort of stuff. Really connecting people, emotionally engaging with people, and how Forbes which is the lead researcher in business and how business works, actually showing and proving statistically that this is really important this day and age, and how much of a difference it makes in having a why that resonates emotionally with people. So just like Jodie was saying in her personal growth section, when you're authentic, when you're genuine, people see that. When you're connecting and talking to people with your heart rather than your head, then people feel that. And last month we shared a saying about, people don't remember what you say, they remember how you make them feel. Emotionally connecting with people is the most powerful thing you can do, and really making people feel special and important. So that's just a little tip there that I've picked up along the way, and that we shared at Diamond Day. And I hope you guys can get the most out of that. And please come along to our next business meeting, which will be a very similar structure. I hope you guys like the monthly wrap, business topic, personal growth, and an essential oil. So thank you everybody for coming along and contributing. I'm going to stop this recording now. For those that are listening back, watching back, thank you so much. And if anybody is online and has any questions right now, then please feel free to share. And I will catch you soon.